The skills covered in this Wax tutorial include importing video into Wax, creating a simple blue screen movie, and rendering your blue screen movie as an AVI file. Wax is basically a simple video editing program that allows you to do the Chroma Key or green blue screen technique very simply. Let's have a go. Up the top here, to bring in the movies I want to work with, I click on the Add Media Files little stack icon there. And I want to bring in, first of all, the stop motion guy movie that I made earlier in Monkey Jam. Click Open. And then I'll go back and bring in my second movie, which is a disco animation movie. There they are. Both of our movies, plus the soundtrack for the stop motion guy, are now sitting in the Wax media bin area here. I'll grab the stop motion guy movie and drag it down and drop it onto the timeline here. And you can see it now appears on the first level of the timeline, and here it is in the preview window. I'll now head up and grab the disco movie and drag it onto the second layer of the timeline. Now you'll notice that it's slightly longer here than what the stop motion guy movie is, so moving my mouse to the end of the disco AVI, I can hold down and drag this in and crop that movie, so now basically both movies are the same length. Okay, now to apply the Chroma Key technique, this is what I do in Wax. I go over to Video Plugins, click there, then you'll see up here is Chroma Key. I hold down my mouse, drag this down and drop it onto the video that has the elements I want to make transparent, which in this case is the blue in the stop motion guy movie, and I just let go of Chroma Key. When I do that, Chroma Key appears here underneath the stop motion guy movie. I select the arrow, and at this point Wax is asking me what color do I want to make transparent. Now by default it already has blue, which we can see blue is the color we want to make transparent. But if I want to apply more accuracy here, I can click on the eyedropper, come up here, and I'll choose the blue down the bottom here. Now when I do, not much happens, but down the bottom underneath Chroma Key there's the tolerance slider, and if I grab that slider and move it slowly to the right, you can see that it's getting rid of the blue. If I move it too far to the right, it starts to get rid of my stop motion guy, so I just toggle that, so I'm getting rid of virtually all of the blue but retaining the elements we want to keep, which is the guy. That looks pretty good. If I press play to preview, there is our stop motion guy, and he's now dancing inside our animated disco. That looks fine. Now I'm going to head up the top here to Project Settings. Click on that, and this is where I can determine the name of the movie. I'm going to export out its size and whereabouts we're going to save it. And at the moment it's video.avi. I might change that to Disco Guy. Make sure you have full stop AVI here on the end. I can now click on the little icon here that will determine what folder this will be saved into, and this is going into the Wax green screen folder that I've set up. That's fine, I'm happy with that, and I'll click Save. Now over here on the right is the frame width and height, which means the size the movie will be exported out as. Now Wax by default exports out at 320 by 240. That's fairly small, so I'll double that to 640 by 480. That's all fine, and I'll now click OK. So the last step to render out our movie is to head up to the green render arrow, click on that, and this will now render out our movie frame by frame. That's now completed, and Wax has rendered out an AVI movie of our blue screen animation.